And now, our feature presentation.
Hey guys, I'm Scarfy.
I'm Naka.
I'm Krüz.
And welcome to Subwuffer Entertainment, a determinedly drunk, geeky, and cheerful podcast where wolves we house in a stream we entertain, bringing you all latest entertainment news. Sets a lot of music appreciation class to talk about what's going on certain topics and see how people react to them in certain ways. So, we have had an interesting week and a half, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have. I guess we could go ahead and say what happened, since we have all this time.
The world's on fire.
The world's on fire.
How about yours? That's the way I like it. It'll never get bored.
I feel like this is an episode of SpongeBob where, you know, they released Wormy and Wormy becomes a butterfly, and it's literally they literally destroyed the entire town because they're so afraid.
There was a meme that was like it's like now in Venezuela criminals are too poor to afford guns, and then it says, "We did it, Patrick. We saved the city."
But yeah, it's been an interesting 2 weeks. So we're going to go ahead and give you a rundown of what happened.
I do want to say one thing real quick.
Right,
I am very much aware that we may turn out stuttery during some parts of this, and we might cut out. I am fully aware because Discord's been acting up the past couple days. Nintendo eShop was down earlier this week. Xbox Live's been down a couple times. I'm not sure. Has PlayStation Network been down at all?
I don't know.
But, you know, a lot of these services have either been going down or they're having issues. And YouTube, I believe, is one of them because I have friends who uploaded videos recently and their view counts weren't showing properly.
I mean, that's happened to more... that's not a new thing, but
it's more prevalent right now. So I am very much aware that there is more strain on internet servers because everybody's staying home. There's no sports on TV. There's nothing to do except go on the internet. So I'm aware that things may happen to our stream, but I do have a fallback plan just in case where I just record everything while we go along.
Right.
And I'll probably just upload that afterwards because the recording is fine. It's the stream that would get affected.
Right.
So we may not have as high of views as we would, say, our other streams that get turned into videos, but we're doing what we can to... Yeah, we're doing what we can.
Yeah.
Give us the deal.
So let's go ahead and give us let's go ahead and give us a rundown of what happened last week. So, you know, it's Tuesday. I'm waiting for, actually, it's Wednesday. I'm waiting for, being able to, go to class. And then I get an email from my professor saying that he canceled class. And I'm like, well, that was weird because I didn't really think anything was going on. And then came last Thursday, I should say. Yeah, we ran into a little bit of a huge misundertaking. We did not know... We did not know that something was just the warm-up act, and and of course we are referring to is the COVID-19 coronavirus.
And we've been demonetized.
Yes,
it's like. Well, do you want us to help it more? Say fuck you. Yeah.
So basically, we've been having to stick with having school at our houses because we can't really go anywhere. I mean, at least I can. I don't know about you, Naka, but.
Washington is not on full lockdown yet, but I'm staying home as much as I possibly can.
I'm surprised it's not on lockdown because California is currently on lockdown. More on that later. We'll get
down tonight.
We'll get to that when we get to that. Anyway, guys, S.E.T has been brought to you by Streamlabs. We are a non-profit podcast, but we use this as our go-to for making more episodes and help them be bigger and better than ever before.
Probably shouldn't chill this week.
By purchasing equipment or other visual means. Please don't feel obligated. We are not asking for money to pay the rent.
Save your money right now.
Yes, I would
agree. Don't buy all the goddamn toilet paper. My mom is literally having to go to eBay to buy some.
So, yeah, I would probably save your money this week because there is a lot of stuff going on.
It's a recession. We're going into a recession.
Yeah. It's a huge recession right now, and we kind of have to save money for what we can. So
So you can save money to live better and go to Walmart.
No.
Except not.
No, don't go to Walmart. Go to Target.
I think Walmart delivers. I don't know if Target does. I think Target does pickup at least.
Operation Doghouse.
We'll see.
So,
This is DEFCON 1.
But
anyway, guys.
Yeah. So Maryland, no idea what's going on over there. Krüz, fill us in. What's going on in Maryland?
So
let's just get this out of the way so we don't have to think about it.
Yeah, there are some cases in Montgomery County, but where specifically I live is not super. Well, it's a more suburban area, and then it's a little removed from other places. I've noticed that businesses are reducing hours. The mall near us closed, which was an issue because I had to pick up to maternal, and I pre-ordered it there. And
did you pre-order it at a GameStop?
Yeah, in the mall, and they transferred it. They had to transfer the credit to another one, and that took a little longer than expected. But I did get it the day it was released on the 19th, which was to prevent too many crowds. But even so, the GameStop said no more than 10 people inside at a time. They were taking their own measures. I think a lot of it is like, what I see is a lot of businesses taking initiative in doing it rather than waiting for a lockdown to happen, which I think is good.
Right.
Yeah. So, after the waiting period, I don't have con crud or corona crud from Furthermore, thankfully. The only reason I was sick is because I was very drunk. But yeah, we're good. We're good so far.
You were very fucked.
Yeah, I'm just. Our campus also closed down. We're gonna have to pick up our stuff and move the rest of the stuff out of there. Initially, it was just 2 weeks after spring break, but then they decided just to shut it down. So
I guess
move on to California.
Yeah, I guess I can tell a story about what's been going on lately. So it was August 20. Well, I believe it was August 19th that I received. Well, I think it was either the 18th or the 19th. I'm not too sure. On August 18th, I received an email from Amazon, and it was regarding my order for Animal Crossing New Horizons. If anyone's been playing that game,
August 19th.
March 19th. It's been a long day.
It should say the day that crabs fries.
It's been a long day, but anyway. March 19th, I guess, I received an email from Amazon regarding Animal Crossing New Horizons, and they said that, yeah, we're going to have to push your order back about 4 more days, and you won't get the game until Tuesday. And I was like, okay, well, I understand that you are going through a little bit of a crisis right now.
A little bit of a crisis? Excuse me?
And you're trying to prioritize your your customers with the necessities and essentials and all that other stuff, which, don't get me wrong, I wholeheartedly respect, but
obviously you don't.
Well, here's the thing.
You do and you don't.
Here's the thing. I asked them like days before if they were going to delay it because I knew that something up was going to go up, and they said no. And then this happened, and they lied to me.
They didn't lie to you.
I feel like that would have been to be expected because obviously they weren't realizing, as many other people probably didn't, that it was as severe as it was going to be, and that things got overwhelmed quickly. So,
but
one person from the company might say yes, another might say no.
But really, guys, I'm not gonna dwell too much on that topic. I'm just gonna say it's okay. I just switched my physical copy out for a digital one. It's not what I want, but hey, I got to play the game the day it came out, so I'm happy about that. And for the record, to anyone who's working at an Amazon or a retail store, I'm just gonna say this right now. Kudos to you. You fucking rule. I don't know how I can do that. You guys are amazing. You guys are pulling it off. And fuck anyone who tries to buy necessities and try to sell it for profit. That's really
retailers are actually now cracking down. There's not people who have bought out everything because they're panic buying. Like they have 30 different things of Costco toilet paper. Yeah, they can't return that anymore. You're stuck with that. And then why did I buy all this toilet paper? Why did I buy all this Lysol?
The guy in Texas who bought like a shitload of hand sanitizer and tried to sell it.
There was a I don't know if you guys remember, but there was like a Twitter video of this woman who I guess went to Dollar Tree and
bought out the entire store's worth of paper products.
Yeah, toilet paper, napkins, and I believe paper towels. I'm not too sure.
Paper products.
Right. It was extremely dumb of her to do that, and I don't understand what her fucking problem was, but
and she thinks that anybody else would be in the wrong.
Yeah.
And there's someone we're going to talk about later, but Rob Halford himself put out a video message. It's on Ladwire's YouTube channel he's like, don't buy all the paper products, don't buy all the toilet paper, don't be a fucking hoarder.
Hey, I mean, people have a right. I did not know that this was just going to be the warm up back to 2 weeks ago.
It's not going to stop anyone because people are fucking stupid.
Or should I say 3 weeks ago? But anyway,
yeah,
that is what's been going on in California. Other than that, all of my stores are sold out. All the meat section. I literally took like pictures and videos of everything in the stores, just basically being
specific sections at some like supermarkets and stuff are completely gone.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think the only reason that before I left campus that in Westminster in Maryland, and if you don't know anything about Westminster, Maryland, it's probably because it's in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. It's the only source of civilization in Carroll County, and no one from the outside, even Owings Mills, is going to go up there and get toilet paper from Rite Aid.
Anyway.
Meanwhile, in Ground Zero, Washington State, we have not gone into a full lockdown like California and I believe New York is about to. Obviously, non-essential businesses have been asked to close, or are working limited hours and using social distancing and things like that. Item limits have been in place for certain items. All public schools announced last week. It was last week. All public all kindergarten, pre-kindergarten through 12th grade schools cannot be open. They are going to reopen on the 27th of April. Mm-hmm. Colleges, that's a campus by campus basis, but my other than my lab course, which was a welding course, everything else was moved online, and we're planning on starting on April 13th, at least the lab courses anyway.
I had a welding course.
And hopefully, because, it's a lab course, so proper social distancing will go into place. That's the current plan, is reopen up the campus for lab courses on April 13th, but if not, they'll reopen April 27th.
It's funny how you say April 13th, because my mayor in California, in LA County rather, basically said that it was going to be open until April 18th, and then Governor Newsom, our governor of California, he said that it was until further notice, so it could be longer than April 18th. But in
my firm opinion, it's just going to be longer, which sucks. But we need to take the proper measures to do what we need to do. And just wash your hands. Try to stay home if you can. If you are sick, definitely stay home.
And if you go outside, for the love of God, please wash your hands.
I already said wash your hands, but keep your distance.
Yes.
Brush your teeth.
Clean your beans. Yeah.
Anyway. Thank you for interrupting me. Just stay hygienic. Don't sneeze or cough on people. Cover your mouth. And wash afterwards if you can. If you have hand sanitizer, use that, but don't use too much of it, and don't try to sell it to people for money because you look like a douche. But, you have a reason to panic buy because you have an essential appliance that needs repaired.
My fucking
water heater.
Water heaters are important.
Yes, but anyway, now that we've got all this crap out of the way, let's move on with the show.
Correct. We're going to start off with Krüz, with music. Krüz, go.
So, some of this was saved up. Some of this is... Well, one bit of news is a little tentative, but it is... Let's see what happens, because, as you know, a lot of concerts have been canceled. And this is about a musician named Kenny Rogers, who No, before you ask, did not die of coronavirus. All it said was natural causes. He passed away at 81 years old at his home down in Georgia. I did see mentioned that Don Henley, rather, the Eagles drummer vocalist, who my parents have seen perform, called him a mentor, fellow icon. Yeah, he folded. He was the Rambler, the Gambler. Yeah, apparently that was one of his famous songs, which I haven't yet listened to. I think I listened to like a few seconds of it incidentally, but Dolly Parton, who collaborated with him, offered her condolences. Yeah, and I said I can't remember hearing any of his songs, but I do know that based on what I'm seeing with the outpouring of support from other musicians, is that he obviously is very influential and loved by many country and rock artists. Issue called Eagles, like kind of southern rock, not really, but like southwestern rock. I mean, you got a really specific kind of style, and I do like their music. So I trust Don Henley knows what he's talking about when he's saying that this guy was a big mentor. And in this picture, he kind of looks like oh, what is it? Why am I blanking on his name? He's the actor who plays Ego in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell. Yeah, he does kind of look like Kurt Russell in this picture. Yeah, Don Henley, Eagles drummer, singer. He's the voice you hear singing Hotel California, among other songs. And I think he's also did some solo stuff. I think that was him doing Boys of Summer, which I like that song. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to, I don't want to force any like, not emotion, but like sympathy that wasn't there, but I do well understand. I want to do it honestly. I do well understand that he was very influential and loved by many, and that he will be missed and it's never easy to lose a music icon. And best thing you can do is pay tribute, move on, and keep the spirit of music alive, which is what they would want you to do. As the famous poem Flanders Fields goes, "The torch be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep though we lie in Flanders Fields." So now it's up to you to carry the spirit forward. And that's that.
Well, my parents were big Kenny Rogers fans. I never really got into him. There was this song that they really liked called "The Coward of the County," which was a very
I saw that mentioned.
Yeah.
Because when I looked up I'm fucking with the volume. Sorry, I saw some of the song titles, and that was one I saw. The Coward.
But
you gotta know when to hold 'em. Know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away. And that's what he did. I wouldn't say that he passed away. He just walked away. He walked somewhere else because he probably didn't want to just be bothered with all this crap going on. That's what I want to think.
Cashed in his earnings.
Yep.
From the gambling table.
Scarfy's volume is low. Is
That's
my
better.
volume low?
Yeah, you're a little quiet.
Oh, sorry. I'm not. Okay, so yeah, a little funny thing about it is that my voice is not next to the microphone, so that's probably the reason why it's a little lower, because my voice is, when I go talk, it's away from the microphone. You get what I mean?
Why do you do that?
Well, because it's a little uncomfortable for me having to kneel in front of a microphone and talk, but
you're sitting in a chair. You shouldn't be having to kneel.
Well, kneel as in like lean, I guess. I meant to say lean, not kneel, but you know what I mean.
I'm like I'm like sort of sitting forward-ish, but not much.
Anyway, we're just gonna... Kenny Rogers, yeah. I mean, he was a great musician. I never listened to his music, but I heard that he was a great inspiration for many people, so I can only hope that, we celebrate the person's life as it was meant to be. So that's all I have to say regarding him.
Now, I don't know why this is put here, and I'm just like, Yeah, it's just filler content, but never again. I don't know. It depends on where they have them. The only Trump-related venue they've been to was actually, it wasn't even the Trump Hotel proper. It was just a restaurant that was in the lobby. It wasn't in the lobby. It was like next to the Trump Hotel or Tower in DC. But I don't know. I had a good beer there. It was a good German wheat beer. It was nice.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Enough about that. You can just watch the news yourself and figure the rest of that shit out. If you can pay attention to it, that is, because a lot of us have ADHD.
I don't.
And I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's a little. It's not with its diagnosis. It's kind of like vague because even as I have it, like other people seem to exhibit it differently than I do. But yeah, and it's a general umbrella term for being like either distracted, you can't sit still, fidgety, kind of sometimes like that, which isn't often a huge deal. But this guy wants to rap about it, I think, unless that's just because of the title. Actually, this guy's from Worcester, Massachusetts, where I did metalworking and stuff, and that was fun. The news sucks. I mean, it's all going to be sucky for a while because it's about how
about what's going on in the world with the thing that we cannot say because we will get demonetized, even though we're not monetized anyway. But continue with music.
Yeah, because it's either about solutions for it, and then how its next thing is going to be how those solutions are fucked. Because that's just how things work. Some of the tracks on this album, ADHD, are already released. Some of them released last year. It looks like there were some issues with it because apparently someone else was slated to be featured on one of the songs, but he took too long to get back, and so Joyner Lucas took the role instead. And that obviously, because you're a rapper and you got to have beef with someone, and I'm like, there's like a subsection on this Wikipedia page that has like beefs with other artists. I'm like, is it just a rap thing, or is it just people are just dicks to each other more in that genre? I don't know.
You'd be surprised how many people are dicks.
Well, you'd say we can't get demonetized because we're not monetized, so we can't get demonetized.
Right.
So, just a thing, any mention of coronavirus or COVID-19 or any other term to describe it that's commonly used, they will get you flagged for review on YouTube and you'll be demonetized because it's not suitable for advertisers. Yet look at all the goddamn news coverage and all the other late night talk show hosts that were talking about it that are perfectly fine in getting ads on their videos because are we right, guys? Are we not going to support the creators who actually built this platform and we're going to instead pay the people who actually have advertisers on late night goddamn television?
This really pisses you off, doesn't it?
Ain't that the way?
It's bullshit.
It's super. Yeah. It's pretty irritating.
For the record, I have listened to Joyner Lucas. If you haven't seen his video called "I'm Not Racist," it's a really good rap, very deep. I highly recommend you watch it. Just a fair warning though, it does contain very heavily explicit lyrics that would not fly if I said using words that I will never ever say on the show because it's they're very vulgar and I can't say it. But
no, I'm not about to say it.
Yeah, it's a very good rap. You should definitely check it out. I haven't listened to much of Joyner Lucas's of his work, but that's all I have to say regarding him.
So March 27th, when the rest of the shit comes out, if you want to listen to it, it does not include the song "I'm Not Racist" that was from a previous album, but feel free to listen to that if you wish. Again, March 27th. Now on to things that suck.
All right.
I fucking hate 1,000 Miles.
Making my way downtown. What?
It's not the lyrics that are the problem. It's literally the piano tune. That's just like, it's something that's like that involuntary sensation that makes your hands go like claw up and your like blood start to boil. I hate it. Not because it was one of my ex-girlfriend's favorite songs, but or the songs you liked, but it was because it is just in and of itself pure irritating bullshit. And one of the most god-awful series of notes I've ever heard. And yes, that includes Justin Bieber and may as well include One Direction in that. That out of the way, this is apparently, I think, a cover album. It was kind of hard to suss out details because 6 songs were released, and they were all covers, but I don't know if the rest are covers, and I really don't care to know. I just know I was more in the fact that she'll be desecrating the likes of Fleetwood Mac and Neil Young in her covers. I think I linked the Fleetwood Mac one in this thing. And yep, March 27th release date. Love is not an art. You know what is an art? War. Sun Tzu.
And Pearl Jam.
So you do not like 1,000 Miles, do you? Just because of the notes?
It's because for the longest time, I didn't know either the artist or the name of the song, and it was only when my girlfriend at that time had sent it to me that as we were having a few issues, she was like trying to express like the feeling with that song, and I was like, "Wait, that's that song?" I'm like, that was like a few years ago, but it's like after that, it's just like now I've identified the thing that I hate so much. It's just because a lot of shit I can sometimes just put up with, just like hearing, you walk into like not so much anymore. You walk into like a convenience store or something, and some like pop music's playing over the intercom or whatever, and any of this shit that comes on is usually fine. But like if something like this comes on, I will walk out of the store and go home. I do not ever want to hear it. I mean, I'll buy the shit I want, but I'm like gonna be like humming to myself, just be trying to drown out the noise. And I'm just, I hate. It is just hate
for this song.
Yeah, I mean,
all right, well,
there's nothing against the person, because honestly, to me, Vanessa Carlton kind of seems like a one-hit wonder, and it was just that. Obviously, she did more songs than just that, but no one really that I know has ever talked about any of the other songs. So to me, basically one-hit wonder, and it's because of that's the song that was the one-hit wonder. It's gross.
So what do you have to say regarding this particular song, Naka?
Don't care. Don't like the artist.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That was fast. Even though you like the memes of the.
I like one parody song, and that's it. Like, I mean, there's one clip with Terry Krüz, but other than that, no.
Oh, Spice Body was kept blocked out for 16 hours.
Yeah, but you know what actually is art?
You know what can block out for 16 hours?
Pearl Jam.
A gigaton of Old Spice.
Pearl Jam is art.
Insert meme of Gordon Ramsay here. Finally, some good fucking music. Awesome song title too, Superblood Wolfmoon, because I think one of the Superblood Moons happened somewhat recently. Don't remember exactly when, but there's another meme of like a scale of like Blood Moon, Super Blood Moon, and it's like of a person standing next to it, and then they slowly turn into a werewolf as it becomes the Super Blood Wolf Moon thing. The song doesn't appear to be actually about the moon, but whatever, it's still in the fucking title. If alt and grunge are your game, you're probably familiar with the band already. As a description of Green Day, I think it might have been iTunes or something, it was on Pandora, that said that Green Day was second in influence only to Pearl Jam. And so if you know influential Green Day is, then that probably, makes it easy to understand how influential Pearl Jam is. And now I don't know fully if I'll actually get or listen to the rest of this, because I really don't listen to them that much, but I do like, yes, I like the one song everyone knows, Even Flow, and I think I think that might have been actually the only song I've heard, but I do like that music, and I think that the time of my life where I was really into this kind of music is past. I mean, it was really just middle school and early high school. It was just all Green Day and some other stuff. Seether. I still do love Seether though. But yeah, this album, the rest of this Gigaton bomb drops on March 27th. I think there's one other song out now, but yeah, that's Pearl Jam for you. There's a fly in front of my fucking monitor.
Well,
I'm still alive. I'm still alive.
no, but what's
I
your
make fun
opinion
of Eddie
Pearl Jam?
Vedder's voice, but it's in spirit. I enjoy his voice. It's unique. You don't get a lot of musicians that can go looking through the paper though he doesn't know how
Are
to
they
read.
from-
Oh,
So
Are
why
they
Pearl Jam?
from the West Coast or from like North? Or from Seattle? Or,
I mean, Pearl Jam's kind of an icon in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah,
They're one of
are
the
they from-
iconic bands.
Portland? Question mark? Or Seattle or something? One of those cities.
Google Pearl Jam.
I never been there.
Don't eat ass in the hall.
That's not what we're talking about.
I know, but that's the voice that sounded like that you were making. I'm sorry. That's the first thing I
Oh,
thought of when I.
stinky.
No, I hate that meme. That meme needs to
Origin,
die.
Seattle, Washington, 1990.
Well, I guess one of the two cities is like a grunge band from Seattle or Portland, one or the other, no exception. Pretty much.
Anyway.
Except for Seether. I guess the Seether is actually from I think Johannesburg, South Africa.
Oi,
Place. Shittle. A little shittle piddle. Oi. Oi, oi, oi.
oi! In this moment, you're wrong.
no.
Yes.
Mother, I need some more bread. I actually don't accidentally want to get my mom's attention. But
Go ahead.
so sharing the song title with a horror film, one of the 3 singles from Mother, As Above So Below, is linked. And the title of the album is, I believe, a reference to the singer herself, Maria Brink, who I've heard a little bit of in this moment, as well as her collaboration with Five Finger Death Punch on, I think it was volume 1 of Wrong Side of Heaven. And so Maria herself had I don't know if she had the baby. She apparently had a teenage pregnancy, and according to a Wikipedia page, also helped her mother overcome drug addiction. So the idea of mother or being a mother is very important to her. And the music does sound good. I've listened to them before, not extensively, but it's just usually through passing when I used to listen to stuff on Pandora. I'll probably check out the rest of the stuff, but I'm not gonna. I mean, I already spent all my goddamn money on Ori and Doom Eternal. Still waiting for that soundtrack to come out because it sounds fucking killer. It does include some of the songs from. It has the same intro song from the original Doom. It also has BFG Division and something that sounds a bit like the Skull Hacker theme. But that's for another time. So the rest of the album will be out on March 27th, as with the others. And yeah, I think this sounds pretty good. In this moment, it's kind of like they're in what is it? They're in a kind of niche part of metalcore where there's also Within Temptation, I believe. I forget some of the other bands, but it's a specific kind of metalcore style. It's more rock oriented, but it does sound very good. Yeah, I've been listening to when I'm not playing Doom or watching people play Doom, I'm listening to the music from Doom.
Yeah, he's stuck in Doom eternally.
Dude.
Doom eternally. I listened to the music video. It's very interesting. I had no idea it was a female driven band. It sounds very, very interesting. I really enjoy it. But yeah, I really like it.
We need more female-driven bands in metal and rock music.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I want to. It was like there was something interesting that Vanessa arch enemy, said she didn't like that people would sometimes call it female-fronted metal. To that, I have said that bands, they're either comprised of or fronted by female
Dudes?
singer. Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah. They usually are power metal or metalcore. There's usually like about 3 genres: power metal, like this kind of in this moment kind of like metalcore stuff, or death metal. With the exception, I guess, of Necrosa. Necrosa is thrash metal, but yeah, I think definitely I've seen. And that, yeah, Little Leaves' Eyes is symphonic metal, but that's kind of closely related to power metal. They're not obviously not the same exact thing, but like Nightwish 2 is like, I would say, under the umbrella of power metal, which includes, I guess, symphonic folk metal and stuff like that. But yeah, Sabaton in one of the shows had 2 female-fronted bands. They were Leaves' Eyes and Battle Beast. Both of them were very good. So yeah, if you find them, they were good. And also did see one called Once Human. They opened for Dragon Force.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was kind of weird because that was the one that was at the Rock and Roll Hotel in DC. It was the tiniest fucking venue, the stage that only came up to your knees.
But did you have fun?
It was a lot of fun. So far, unfortunately, a lot of tours are being postponed. I just saw that the one I was wanted to go to, Testament, has been postponed. So definitely try to. I think I put something in the last stream we did that has a running list of postponed and canceled shows in rock and metal. So if there's something you're interested in, try to keep up to date with it and see if it has either been postponed or canceled. I believe the policy, if they postpone it, is to honor the original ticket, which actually happened with AC/DC because that was when Brian Johnson had the hearing issue and he couldn't keep touring. So then they brought Axl Rose and we were able to use the same ticket like at the show. So yeah, if the show that you get a ticket for is canceled, don't get rid of your ticket. Inquire about it from whoever you bought it from, Ticketmaster or Live Nation or whatever, about the policy and how they're going to handle it. And now,
yes,
log. So it's weird that like the was it acronym for Lamb of God is log, and now the album's self-titled, so it's called Log. Fuck. It's an interesting time for it to be self-titled because self-titled albums are not uncommon, but usually it's either the first album or I guess during a transitional period. Metallica's, which is also called the Black Album. I think actually, no, now that I think about Weezer's done it a bunch of times, but they just did it with different color codes. So I guess they're not all self-titled, so to speak. I think Blue Oyster Cult's first album was self-titled. Or it's a new album, which is what Rammstein did. And that is a similar case with Lamb of God. And this is going to be their first album without the famous drummer Chris Adler, who was very well known for his skill in the double bass drums and able to keep up very complex tempos. He was in a motorcycle accident, and while he is okay, he deemed himself, I believe this is how things went down. He deemed himself to be in no shape to keep drumming, at least to perform for Lamb of God and keep up that tempo. But they proceed in his absence with Art Krüz, which is not me. I play guitar, not drums. On a self-titled album, Checkmate and Memento Mori. Unus Honest. Yeah. My God, the unbirthing video, I was like crying the whole time. Also, yeah, check out Unus Honest before their time is up because the clock is always ticking down. And funny enough, there is a clock, or more like a stopwatch, on the cover of this album too, as you can see very prevalently. Checkmate.
The Unis Honest and Lamb of God collab when?
Yeah. When is Randy Bly going to be on the show? So Checkmate was kind of par for the course. And it's just like, Matt, it's like it. If you've heard Lamb of God before, it's like, yeah, it does sound like them, but it's also kind of like you're just looking at it and you're just like, okay, and then what? It's kind of like it just sounds standard, in not a very good way, but it's not a bad song. But I will say, really, they're putting in "Make America Hate Again." Really, you're 4 whole years too late to the party. I understand that your last album was in 2015, Sturm und Drang, though you did do something in the meantime with Burn the Priest, which was the same band, Lamb of God, but under their old name. Did a bunch of punk rock covers. But yeah, Testament had a song called True American Hate back in 2012. So they're a little ahead of the curve with that. Of course, talking about the American political situation and stuff like that is not new.
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah. I'm not going to give too much credit to anyone who does do it, but I'm like, if you're just taking the MAGA meme, I mean meme as in like the structure of words. They say like "Make America Something Again." People have been using it to say "Make America Green Again," "Make America like some other shit," whatever. But it's like
Make Doom eternal again.
Make Doom eternal again. Yeah, actually, the fun thing is that pre-ordering Doom Eternal will give you, I think it's only in the battle mode, but it will give you a skin for the Revenant that makes him the Doot Revenant with the trumpets on his shoulders.
Anyway, yes, but
Memento Mori, yeah, let's be honest, I think was the better of the songs. I haven't downloaded either of them yet, but I'll probably listen to the rest of the album when it comes out on May 8th. It does, I mean, there's probably going to be some promise in it, but it's probably, honestly, it's a kind of a test period for them because they just lost one of their very core members. I think he was also a founding member. Bands have gone through this before and have really succeeded, as Overkill did with Horoscope, where one guitarist left and they brought in 2 new ones, and they ended up producing a kick-ass album. And this album, May 8th, 2020, first under the Lamb of God name, I should say, since Sturm und Drang, which is German for storm and stress.
But, yay, more Lamb of God! Yay! Memento Mori. Unis Honest. Unis Honest.
I think I've seen them 3 times, I want to say.
Yeah. Speaking of titles for religious titles for heavy metal bands.
Fun fact, actually, it is not a reference to Judas or religion. It's based on this old folk song, Judas Priest and the something else. It's like the story of these 2 people. I forget exactly how it goes, but apparently that's where the name Judas Priest is from.
Breaking the law.
Yeah, don't like breaking quarantine or whatever. There was a joke in there somewhere. But this is a tweet from Sabaton where they announced that they will be joining Judas Priest on their 50th anniversary tour as a support act, which I would love to see because I have seen both of these bands. As I've said many times, I imagine you're sick of hearing it by now. I've seen them 5 times. I did get to see Judas Priest in DC with Saxon and Black Star Riders. And so, yeah, again, no secret I love both these bands, but this is a delicious treat for metalheads. The new wave British heavy metal pioneers Judas Priest, bolstered by the Swedish war machine of Sabaton. Honestly, what could be better? By the time this tour rolls around, hopefully the coronavirus quarantines and limitations on public gatherings will have ended or at least backed off a little bit. They're not, I don't know specific. I know the venue that they're playing in Maryland, which I tried to make the image bigger enough so you can see. If not, the you can either screenshot it or the tweet itself has the image in it. Yeah. So playing the MGM National Harbor. That's the new casino hotel. I'm not sure how big this store is going to be because the last time they played was in DC was at the Wharf, which was a fairly large concert hall. And I mean like formal concert hall, like it had like the seats going up the back and all that stuff. So far there's been no news that this has been canceled or delayed. Ideally it should be, as I said at the time, when it after the quarantines have ended. It starts, it looks like September, or yeah, September ish. So it's a ways away, but again, as with any big tour, the tickets will probably go quickly. And unfortunately for me, Maryland is the first show. Though I could drive 2.5 hours to Philly to see it, but I'm not, it's obviously not going to be worth it that much. Though I did drive like 2 hours down to Richmond to see Overkill, but
nice.
Yeah, you'll go see Overkill, but drive 2 hours, but you're not going to drive 2.5 hours to go see Judas Priest and Sabaton.
I don't know if it'll be as manageable because I drove from Maryland to Richmond, Virginia, rather than from Maryland to Philadelphia, and the traffic was probably. I've driven from Maryland to around Philly or where Philadelphia is, which is near Philly and King of Prussia, but I could, but obviously I would have to leave very early. It depends. I guess also depends on what time the show is. If I can get a ticket, and if I, maybe I actually, you know what, you have a point, Naka, because
you'll figure it out.
I did go to well, it wasn't as far away, but I drove to Reading, Pennsylvania, and I got a hotel there to see Slayer because we didn't want to drive like the length of time back, like at like 1 a.m.
Exactly.
But yeah, check to see. You can see on these listed dates and venues to see if they're near you. I would love it if Sabaton played either of their covers of Judas Priest, which they covered Jawbreaker and All Guns Blazing, which for Judas Priest are from Defenders of the Faith and Painkiller, respectively. I guess 2 of my favorite albums. For Sabaton, the Jawbreaker and Guns Blazing are respectively on Metalizer and The Last Stand. So yeah, it's an exciting show. Hopefully unaffected. Again, follow, I guess, either Judas Priest or Sabaton's. I think Sabaton's social media does post a lot more frequently, but
for updates.
Yeah, Sabaton's Twitter is linked there. We'll just see if you're interested and they come near you. Because it's going to be a huge tour, because Judas Priest has been, a huge driving force in heavy metal for the past half century. And we'll see, because the only other thing that it won't affect the, because last time I saw Judas Priest, it was with Glenn Tipton was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and so their producer Andy Sneap filled in for guitar. The only thing that's a takeaway of that, even though Richie Faulkner is a very, very good guitarist and a perfect fit for Judas Priest, he handled like all of the solo plays, whereas it was ideally going to be like shared between Glenn and Richie. But it was still a great experience, I will say. It's not watered down at all. It's still, full firepower, balls to the wall, crazy heavy metal, awesome fun times. And there's enough of my blabbering. So now we'll go to something then New York.
Sports
Or lack thereof.
Everything's been postponed or canceled. This is balls. But hey, at least the WWE is still planning on going with WrestleMania in a couple weeks, so there's that. But, yeah, sports.
No audiences.
No audiences for WrestleMania, and I can tell you, it's so weird watching SmackDown with no audience.
I can see Jeremy from Achievement Hunter, who is a big wrestling fan. I think he was talking with some other people from, I forget what the name of the organization was, but that it was weird because the cameras came back on and the wrestlers didn't know that it had come back on, and they were just like sort of standing around and like idling, walking, and just doing shit. And it's like, guys, you're live.
Yeah. Anyway,
now we move on to Vampire the Masquerade, Coteries of New York. It's an adventure video game developed and published by Polish studio Draw Distance. It is set in the world of darkness and is based on White Wolf Publishing's tabletop role-playing game Vampire the Masquerade. It was released in 2019 for Microsoft Windows and is planned for release on the Switch on March 24th, so Tuesday, PlayStation 5th on the 25th, which is Wednesday, and sometime later this year on the Xbox One. The developer also plans to release standalone story expansions for the game. The player takes the role of one of 3 fledgling vampires from different vampire clans, who each use different vampiric abilities and interacts with members of their coteries in different ways. The story depicts the struggle between 2 vampiric factions and diverges depending on the choices the player makes.
Back like New York and the 5 families.
Yeah, if you want to see what the vampires are up to in the classic world of darkness by White Wolf Publishing, this is the game for you.
Yeah, so there is a little bit of an interesting game. This is actually a tabletop role-playing game where you basically you're having fun being a vampire and doing vampiric shit. That's basically what it is, and it's a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun. There is also a thing called Werewolf the Apocalypse, which I believe already released. So unfortunately, there's not much to talk about.
I'm aware where Zach has played it. I thought this is this kind of one off because I feel like I remember hearing that or seeing that the core games of this franchise are like RPG open world kind of things, not open world, but like BioShock looking kind of games, or is that
pretty much? I mean, like it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy these. Yeah,
a different kind of experience, but it is, you're still in that universe rather.
Correct. Yeah. But it's a lot of fun. If you ever get the chance to play it, I would highly recommend doing so. It's a lot of fun.
Do you know, because I've not played any of them. I did not unfortunately watch our friend Zach play it. Where in the series is this, and is it important that you find or look at other games before this, or is this just an isolated story?
Where in the series is this?
Is this an isolated, like a spin-off story?
I'm not sure.
Hold on, let me look it up. It's designed by
I'm not asking for like specific timeline things, but I'm like, it's not obviously not a core game, but it's like, how does it interact with the regular series and such?
I mean, there's also Vampire World of Darkness, which you'd have to basically look at that. It's basically you kind of have to look at it like Dungeons and Dragons. There's many different editions. You just kind of have to play the current one because everyone's playing.
So basically, learn by the Ryan Haywood approach. Learn by doing.
Yes. So, all that other stuff.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know if we'll be getting that, but it does look like an interesting series. It's just one that, because I can't get to every game that I've want to explore. Mm-hmm. Even now I'm backlogged. I have 3 other Far Cry games I still need to play. I still haven't finished New Dawn yet. And now on the second burner is Ori, and on the table now is Doom Eternal, obviously, because reasons.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, One Piece.
It's time for how in the fuck is this series still going?
It's been going on for a while.
There's 1,000 episodes?
Not yet.
But they're planning on going over 1,000.
There's not even 1,000 chapters yet.
I was wondering, are they going to find the treasure, or is this just is it just like a mythical thing that they'll never be able to find, but they'll always try to?
I mean, the creator Aichiro Oda is, he has an ending in mind. He's just not executing it because
he's gonna Game of Thrones it.
I mean, One Piece for me is a very good series, but anyway, I'm getting a little off track here. One Piece Pirate Warriors 4, Naka, go.
Well, if you're interested in One Piece, this is a sequel to Pirate Warriors 3 that came out in 2015. It's a follow-up in the action-adventure beat-em-up game of the franchise that Koei Tecmo and Bandai Namco have nailed down. And the game is expected to feature gameplay similar to its previous installments. Pirate Warriors 4 introduces a new game mode called Titan Mode, where the player's opponents become larger in size, forcing the player to adjust their strategy. The game has its own original story. It also features 4 new multiplayer modes. If you're interested, it releases for PC, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One on Thursday the 26th.
So you're actually kind of surprised that this game, that One Piece is still going on. I'm
yes.
actually kind of surprised. Why is that?
Because, I mean, I know Dragon Ball's had a couple different iterations, but even I think Dragon Ball Z was their longest, or Dragon Ball Z, depending on where you're from, but I call it Z.
Apparently not.
Dragon Ball Z at most in the series of Dragon Ball Z, not the whole Dragon Ball franchise, but Dragon Ball Z itself, 276 episodes.
Like I forget if I heard it, but what's the longest running or longest ever anime? One is like, I feel like names like Bleach, Naruto, and some others would be up there.
Like the Pokemon show.
Pokemon.
But Pokemon's had like 40 different.
Forgetting that sometimes.
Pokemon has also had like 30 or 40 different shows within the Pokemon show, even though they all follow Ash.
Yeah.
Or most of them follow Ash, because there's some spin-offs like Pokemon Origins, where it's red and green, or red and blue, and
One
green
Piece
shows
is
up.
Currently number 25 in the most manga series by volume count. It has 967 chapters, almost 1,000. So it's still ongoing.
Bookshelf.
I mean, hey, Aichiro Oda, One Piece is a good fucking series. If you ever get the chance,
I know it's really good, but it's like if you haven't been keeping up with it since it started coming out, it's like you got your work cut out for you.
I mean,
your summer reading is slated until August.
I mean, hey, One Piece is a very good series. If you ever get the chance to read it, I would highly recommend it. I don't really play much of the games.
We're talking about the anime rather than the game, but
I always wanted to read Detective Conan. I heard it's really good, but
I thought you said Detective Comics. I'm like, well, that's old school shit.
Detective Conan, or Case Closed in Japanese.
There you go. I mean, there you go again. Another example of like the Japanese have the literal name, Case Closed.
Yeah. So.
But gameplay does look interesting, but obviously it's clearly more designed for more hardcore fans of the series to be into, with the exception that possibly those hardcore fans may likewise mourn the fact that this game was made and not want to play it. Yeah. So they would have reason to play it and not to play it.
So, yeah, if you ever get the chance to watch One Piece, go ahead, but I'm just going to warn you, even though it's a really good series.
I've watched only some of it, and all I remember is that there's a fruit that makes the guy stretchy, and that someone dodged a sword.
That is Monkey D. Luffy.
The main character, yeah. He had a fruit that made him stretchy. He made him stretch Armstrong.
Right, he ate the gum fruit, and now he can...
I remember from the theme song, took a bite of gum.
No, that's the 4Kids version. We don't talk about that. Sorry.
Oh. Yeah. Was it how different was it from original? Because I think that was like
way different.
Did they have a theme song?
Don't even watch the 4Kids version. That's what I'm gonna say.
I think I didn't intend to like fully watch it. It just that was ended up being on TV at one point, and then I never watched it again. I don't know.
Anyway.
It's been 17 days. 17 days since I've been trapped in here. I gotta get out soon.
Trapped in here with these idiots.
I am honestly surprised.
Day 58. Day 58, and I'm still in here. Oh, man, I need to get back to my wife. Oh, man, I miss her.
Captain's love.
13 years. It has been 13 years since an official Half-Life game.
I love it. It's like Here's the thing, because I think that with a game that carries that much weight, it would either have a very big dislike or a very big appreciation because holy shit, you actually did something, and rather than the Gabe says no Half-Life 3 meme.
So, but hey, Half-Life, Alyx.
It's been 13 years since an official Half-Life game.
It's
13 years.
84 years. Anyway, keep going.
I need you guys to be quiet for this.
Probably
because this is the
right.
most important game of my entire life.
Go ahead.
It's no sequel / episode 3, but is
Oh
an
my god. Am I so quiet? I'm sorry to interrupt, but Shutter is making a huge deal about me being quiet.
Yeah, because
Is this better?
It's because you're all the way out here and people can't hear you. Because you need to be more up here where people can hear you.
Yeah, but if I'm up over here, it makes me talk more louder and I lean. So
Coming in
that's
on
why-
you, then.
Oh no, you have to lean.
Talk louderly.
Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway,
Finish your spiel, boy.
shut up. It's an all-new Half-Life game finally releasing. Again, this is probably the most important game of my lifetime so far. I have been waiting for something with the Half-Life property for 13 years. The endless rumors, the confirmed projects that were scrapped. Countless times, the shitfest that Valve endorsed with Hunt Down the Freeman. The tie-ins with other games such as Final Fantasy 15 and Death Stranding's PC releases. It's finally time for the Half-Life franchise to be properly reborn. Memento Mori. We are mere hours away from the game unlocking in North America. Besides Beastars, I will be watching all I can of Half-Life Alyx. Why aren't I playing this game, you ask? I'll get into it later. Half-Life Alyx is probably the most important game for Valve. I'm going to shift the mic over here so I can talk a little easier. Half-Life Alyx is probably the most important game for Valve. Not only is it a showcase of the Source 2 engine, but it's also a showcase of their VR hardware, the Valve Index, which has sold very well. Where does this fall in the Half-Life storyline, you ask? Half-Life Alyx falls between the end of Half-Life and beginning of Half-Life 2.
Quick question. Isn't Alyx the name of the main character?
Alyx
Or a
Vance.
character?
Alyx Vance, who is a side protagonist or side character in Half-Life 2, Episode 1 and Episode 2, is... Yeah, that's why it's called Half-Life Alyx, is you play as Alyx.
Yeah.
You play as the titular character Alyx Vance, daughter of Eli Vance, who is a scientist in the Sector C labs at Black Mesa, who survived the Black Mesa incident. Both were allowed to survive after the G-Man uses multidimensional godlike powers to keep them alive. While I personally do not know where exactly Half-Life Alyx falls in between these two periods in the timeline, it's far enough at this point where there's 0-point energy field manipulation technology, so gravity-altering technology, but there is no gravity gun as seen in Half-Life 2. Because, well, there's no gravity gun, they're not up to that point, but Alyx wears gravity gloves to manipulate and interact with the world. Every weapon in the game can be used one-handed, as Valve intended to allow players to explore the world as much as possible. The entire game is in virtual reality, meaning that there's no option for plebs like me who don't have a higher-end graphics card that costs $300 and or a VR headset with controllers. Valve has explained that if they were to go to the route of the typical Half-Life gameplay experience, just mouse and keyboard, they would have completely had to have redesigned the game from the ground up. It's unfortunate, but hello, Weekend Wolf, but I totally understand the decision that they made, not only from a design standpoint, but from a financial standpoint. Do you know how much time and money they would have to spend redesigning the game from the ground up so that people who don't have VR headsets would be able to play it normally? Yes, there was some frame drops. I'm just going to upload the raw file when we're done with this.
It's raw!
Just because there's no like frame drops or skips or anything like that in the recorded file, so that's an FYI.
Yeah.
But
Excuse you.
they would completely have to redesign the game from the ground up to play with a mouse and keyboard. That's so much money and time. This game's been in development, like the Half-Life VR concept has been in development for at least 5-6 years Okay, and it's led up to this point. They also have official hardware that they've been developing for nearly a decade, and they've been selling out of them in masses. When I was doing research for this yesterday, from Valve's official storefront on Steam, where you can buy the Valve Index, they say that they'll ship out in 8 weeks after your order has been placed. Thankfully, you do not need a Valve Index VR headset and controllers to play, because any PC-compatible VR headset, such as the Oculus Vive, Oculus Vive, the Oculus Rift, the HTC Vive, and any other PC VR headset and controllers will work.
Nice.
And you'll be able to play it as soon as it unlocks.
Yeah, the HTC Oculus Vive.
Yes. The global launch is set for tomorrow, March 23rd, 2020. 4,548 days. 109,152 hours. 6,549,120 minutes since Half-Life 2 Episode 2. The time has come.
God, now you reminded me of that fucking stupid-ass song from Rent.
Memento Mori.
Well, you are very, very excited for this particular game, aren't you?
Yeah, and I'm pissed because I can't play it.
I know.
Yeah, so
so now you know how I feel when Kingdom Hearts released on multiple platforms before finally releasing most, if not all, of their games on the PS3 or PS4. So, But hey, I've never played a single Half-Life game. I've heard they're
You need to fix that.
Well,
I haven't formally played either, but I followed along somewhat with. I understand some of the lore, and I understand the things about like the enemies and the head crabs and stuff. Because I've seen Outside Xbox and Outside Extra, those twin channels, do some videos that were related to it, more like ranking things and explaining things rather than gameplay. Although they do that as well.
I heard Half-Life 2 is really well done.
Yeah, and it's because. It's a good game. It looks like a game I would very much be interested in. I don't know where exactly you can play it, though. I do have.
If you get the orange box, which is backwards compatible on the Xbox One for the 360, excuse me.
So is it a 360 game?
The orange box is an Xbox 360 game, but it is backwards compatible with the Xbox One.
It's Half-Life.
So that contains Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, Half-Life 2 Episode 2, Portal, the original Portal, and Team Fortress 2, which is broken, and it's basically, it was the base version of the game when it came out in 2007.
Oh, so it's like, is this the working? Because my roommate and I just played it once, but it ended up being a situation that was he explained it was a rare one where it was capture the flag, but neither team could get the final flag, and it went on for hours. But it was fun. I'm actually good as the soldier, apparently, which he said was not an easy one to master. So I'm just like, I can fuck people up with a rocket launcher.
Then he rounded 2 of every animal on Earth, and then he herded them onto a boat, and then beat the crap out of every single one of them.
This is a bucket. This is a bucket.
Dear God, there's more. No.
Yeah, so I don't have a VR kit either, because I feel like the only VR experience I actually have is that arcade game Beachhead with if you see in the arcades, the big yellow one that you pull down and you're basically in a turret and you can spin and you just try to take out army trucks and soldiers kind of trying to climb up the mountain to get to you. I don't personally, so I don't have a problem. Like, people can buy this if they want to, and honestly, for me, it's just more fun to watch than to play because I don't. I mean, I feel like I would enjoy the games if I got a chance to play them, but it's not enough of a thing to like just go dive into VR alone. I'm perfectly fine playing games the way I do. Though, of course, you did say that this game doesn't have like a standard play mode.
No, the game would have to be completely redesigned from the ground up. Because there's so many gameplay elements that require VR and, the controllers and everything like that.
about that because
I would imagine.
I don't know if you have
I
the
would
answer to the question, but because I've seen the game from the Rick and Morty creators, Trover Saves the Universe. I've seen a version that was in VR and not in VR played. So like they'll substitute like the looking around for like the thumbsticks or like some other things, but I imagine doing that if you didn't plan that for the whole game, then I can see how it's hard.
No,
But
Valve was.
I feel like it's something you can't just like say that will never happen because you could work on it to make it more accessible.
It'll be years and years away if it ever comes to that point.
I mean, it's kind of, but then again, par for the course for Half-Life, I imagine.
We'll just have to wait and see. But
I'm glad that you finally get your game.
I get closure. Some of it,
Yes.
at least. There's explanations as to what happened between Half-Life and Half-Life 2 other than the border world of Zen being collapsed.
Could you imagine if they announced Half-Life 3, even though they probably won't?
They're not going to announce it until it's completely perfect. And until it's completely perfect, there's not going to be an official announcement for either Episode 3 or Half-Life 3. And even then, there are other issues other than game design and gameplay that affect moving forward with the Half-Life franchise past
Correct.
Episode 2. Mm-hmm. But we're finally getting explanations as to how the Combine actually took over. We're getting explanations of everything, really, and maybe more backstory into the G-Man, but we won't know until tomorrow morning.
All right, well, I am glad that you're going to get a hint of closure finally, even though it took a while for this to come out.
It's like a hot minute.
But I heard Half-Life's a good series. Unfortunately, I haven't had any chance to play it. The only thing that I know about it is John Freeman, Dead People's Hands. That's all I'm going to say.
And his brother John, Fall Life, Consequences.
Brother John.
Yes, anyway. So is that it for video games?
That's really pretty much it.
All right.
Stolen tagline.
Not a nice boat. You want it back.
So transition?
Well,
or like the
do you have anything else to talk about, Scarfy?
Not with Half-Life, no.
But just in general.
Well,
I
guess now's the time to address the elephant in the room, and it's a big one. Hey guys. So normally it would be my time to shine in the movie section, but after multiple entertainment flops have happened, it seems like a perfect time to talk about it. Hollywood has in fact shut down due to the COVID-19 outbreak. Movie productions and projects have come to a screeching halt. Hardly any new movie trailers have been released. Movie theaters are shut down. New movies that were supposed to come out weekends ago have been postponed to a later date. Some of them way down the line next year, while others have been having to resort to streaming services and released earlier to the general public. And unfortunately, because I work at a movie theater and my state is under complete lockdown, no one can leave and no one can come in, I have been on furlough in the past week and a half. I'm not making any money. I had to file for unemployment, which sadly the government's unemployment rates have been the highest it's ever been. I had to cash in all of my attained sick hours for pay. Stock prices are falling. We may see ourselves in literally another huge recession. It's really quite a mess. There's not much for me to talk about here other than that Hollywood is pretty much shut down and movie theaters actually may be going out of business because of the crisis. I have to thank Krüz right now for basically getting me out of this funk, because had he not talked to me, I would have said, no, I don't want to do Subwuffer Entertainment because I don't have anything to talk about. It is all crickets over here. There is nothing to talk about here. The only thing that I can really talk about is the list of movies that are being delayed or projects that are being put on stall for the moment, and that's it. I can't really talk about trailers. I can't talk about movies. I can't do anything. I am like landlocked over here. I would have postponed every episode of Subwoofer had this kept happening. It's unfortunate, and I can only hope things will get better from here. Really, the only thing I can really say is just I would like it if you could tell me to keep my head up, because it's gonna be a while before I can even go back to work. I filed for unemployment. I did all of that. I did everything I could. There's really not much I can. There's really nothing else much I can do or much I can talk about. So Hollywood is closed. I'm closed. There's nothing for me to say. But I guess the good news that we can talk.
I mean, for now, conventions. I've seen some conventions are canceling. Hopefully, Philadelphia doesn't cancel because that's end of the summer. But in addressing what I did basically tell Scarfy was that because I myself had noted where shutdowns had happened and how that affects like specific things that are affected, that is news in and of itself, even though it's not news you want to hear. However, I'm sure that there are other things that are relevant. And obviously, you mentioned that streaming movies are coming out on streaming services, and those release dates, that's news that people are going to want to hear.
Yes, I will.
As far as moving forward, we'll have to see how that works out. We may not have as much content or real content available to discuss for shows. Although this next week we do have plenty. But I want you all listening to know that we do. Our intention is always to have a show, even if it's a short one like this, or because honestly, we enjoy talking about the games and stuff. And even if it's not about new games, there is always stuff that we can shoot the shit about. And yeah, so we're all going to need. I feel like this is now like this. What we're doing is more necessary than ever because of the quarantine and everything, that people aren't being as social because they can't really be as social, can't take risks and get out enough. And sometimes you just need something to do on your weekend and spend your time, even if it's just listening to our bullshit. But there's plenty of other things to watch, like Beastars, that you could be watching if you haven't already. This up for to get ready for our next weekend. I know Naka's definitely going to get on that because Scarfy will not let him die until he does.
Yeah,
it works.
You know how so we are still reading your chat, by the way.
We dropped a couple frames.
We have dropped a couple frames, but Restream's not working so well, so I can't actually post or view any YouTube chat right now that shows up on the screen. You know this thing that I can move around all over the place and give everybody a fucking seizure?
Yeah, you can't really do that here.
Yeah, but we are reading your chat normally, but again, we're rolling with the punches right now. Hopefully this... things get smoothed out for next week, because next week we have an important show, don't we? It involves a certain show that you might have heard of, and you may have seen the announcement video this week called Beastars. Yeah, we're having a special guest, guys.
200 people saw it, and guess what? Over 200. Though I understand that one of them is my other account, just because I like to I don't know. It's like try cheating, like double subscribe, but that doesn't matter at this point because it's a little more over 200. Although not, it's hardly. Obviously, not even a majority or a minority of them are here every week. Obviously, it would be hard to be there every week.
So,
but it's it's a point of pride to be like, yeah, we did this. The way people are about subscribers being like, yeah, I have so many. It doesn't matter. What matters is that we hit a landmark and we feel good about it. And so we're going to keep moving forward just as we always have.
Correct.
And hopefully provide the best to the people that do show up and let it be, obviously post the VODs for the people who can't make it on time so that they can enjoy our bullshit in their leisure.
So I have a funny story that I want to tell, but I think we should save it for next episode because it involves...
Let's save it for Jonah.
Yeah, because I think that would be best. So yeah, guys, if you haven't noticed, Jonah Scott, the voice actor for Legoshi from Beastars, which you can watch on Netflix, is going to be on our show. He provides the English voice actor. There's a lot of questions that he wanted that I've been wanting to ask him. If you couldn't already tell, like from last season, I was kind of hinting that I was very, kind of showing signs that I couldn't because it was only released in Japan's and it wasn't released in North America at the time.
Hold on.
Yeah.
The stream can't hear it because OBS has decided, no, I'm not going to work anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
OBS did a fucky wucky.
Yeah, internet not happy. We will upload the raw footage.
And now OBS did a fucky wucky. Now you have to go into the forever box.
Man, it's still dropping frames, so let's wrap this up quick.
All right.
Yeah, internet's kind of pissed this week, but
at least
it's out of our control.
Until pretty much the very end.
That's when it started acting up the most, was at the end. But, I have the raw footage that we're just going to upload. I'll probably upload that like when I go to sleep tonight because I still want to use the internet today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's it for this week. We're going to get our best to get this episode out, doing our best. And now Restream Chat works. Thank you.
All right. So I do have one more thing I want to make. I want people to keep in mind for next week. Yeah. I do want to remind people for next week, we are not going to be having our usual show. We're not going to be doing music or video game news. It is going to strictly be about Jonah and Beastars. Okay,
it would be economical anyways to save whatever news for future stuff and keep stuff on the back burner that we can talk about that is still relevant.
Yes.
So
if you have a question for Jonah, if you have anything that you want to talk to him about, just ask a question in the chat for next week. We'll be sure to talk about it and we'll be sure to discuss it. I do want to let you know that
you can also submit it or just go tweet at the Subwuffer account and we'll look at those and see if there are any questions we weren't already planning to ask, and we might just ask our own anyway. But if you have questions, just tweet them at Subwuffer.
Yes, and I also want people to know I've talked with many other different communities. One involving a Beastars Reddit group that is actually on Discord that I am actually a part of, and believe it or not, they actually advertised our show for this Sunday. So expect a lot of people coming in just to hear Jonah's voice and hear us talk to him, because it's not just going to be Discord. So. But really, that is it. That is our show for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have much to talk about, but I am heavily implore you to not miss this next show that's coming up. So yeah, Jonah Scott, Beastars. We're
all the more reason for you to hit that bell so you get notified when we go live. But don't rely on that,
guys.
Yes. What?
3 minutes ago. I'm not sure if this is gonna play because Streamlabs is a bit fucky right now, but
what did Kyle do this time?
What happened?
This is for you, Scarfy, during these trying times for you. He donated $100.
I don't know if he donated specifically to me or I don't know.
Well, that's with it.
Anyway. Well,
thank you so very much, Kyle. You really did not need to do that.
No, you really didn't. But anyway, thank you very much. We'll be sure to talk about other things. And yeah, that is our show for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. As always, my name is Scarfy.
Hold on. Footage out soon. I'm Naka.
And I am Krüz.
And this has been Subwuffer Entertainment. We hope that you have a blessed time, and we will see you all next week with Jonah Scott regarding Beastars. Stay awesome, stay awesome, and have a good night, guys.
Remember, do your homework.
Watch Beastars if you haven't. Stay safe. Stay home if you can. Be hygienic. Don't be a dick to other people.
Yes.
Don't buy all the guys.
That is all we request. We will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.